Hello, my family. Boy, have you been missed. All the kids are in school, everybody's at work, and it's time for me to finally, hallelujah, go to work. So here I am. I had counted out this weekend with my husband, and we had a long talk with each other about getting ready for the winter. Right now, currently, which has been an extremely long time, we have noticed that our gas prices are currently at the moment up to $3.29 a gallon. Now this changes daily to every other day. It has seriously got both of us very concerned because when fuel prices go up, so will groceries. It's been tight, y'all. It's been really tight, and winter is approaching us. For us, we have about 3 months to get prepared for a winter that could be cold and wet, and it could put my husband out of work for a little while. Well, not basically completely out of work, but not getting the hours he does in the summer. And then the fact is, we don't have any other resources. This is what we do. This is how we depend on things. And I like some people, God love them, if they can get assistance, that's great, but not all of us do, and we're ones that can't. Part of our family does, and that's for them, but we have to concentrate on us. So what have I done today? I currently am waiting for the pressure valve to come down on the canner because I had canned up 8 pints of chickpeas. I'm going to take you over to another project, and I'm going to explain to you what all these are about and what we're stocking on our pantry this year. What I am working on, I'm going to share with you to maybe help others who are in our situation. So let me get over here, show you the next project I have going at the same time today, because I am actually multitasking, believe it or not. So let me go show you what the next one is here. Okay, over here we are dehydrating potatoes for scallop potatoes or whatever. So they're in the cooling process right now to make sure that these are completely dried. They will have to come to a crisp, and I don't know if I can get that sound. Hang on. Yep, there you go. That's what I'm looking for. And they turned out beautiful. They're not dark colored. I will tell you on this video how I did this, because I think this could be vitally important for many people, and I'll tell you what potatoes I used. And we currently have 8 trays of these. I am cooling them off all the way before I jar them up, and I probably will do some more of these for the winter, because I think that with the price of potatoes they are right now, which I'll explain that one, I think this is what I'm going to do so that I have potatoes. And we will be right back. Alright, y'all. So, I have been stepping off track, and I need to get back on track with my diet and everything. My nerves have been, over the edge. So, it's time to get back to my normal life. Now, I have to, in our pantry this year, unlike all the other years, I have to shop in stock a lot different. I am stocking for Mediterranean lifestyle, and I am stocking for a diabetic. So we made out our list last night, and so this is what we come up with. We did, so far, we found a deal at Sam's Club for 10 pounds of hamburger, and out of that 10 pounds, I got 13 pints of ground hamburger that was pressure canned and put on the shelf. Now, what I love about canned meats is if I stock my freezer and there's no more room for it, I can put it on my shelf. If the power goes out, I can still put meat on my shelf. We still have a source. We have cooking sources outside with grills. We have camping equipment that we can use. We have our wood heater in the winter that we could cook on. There's always a cooking source, so going off-grid would not be a hard thing for us to do, and including canning canned meat. Now, I had, after I told you my mentor, she graciously taught me how to do this, and so we did have one of our winters, we had a power outage. I was never so grateful to be able to have done the things that I learned how to do so that I could be prepared. And when I was prepared, it worked fantastically because the hamburger that I had, I could use to make spaghetti with, or sloppy joes. I had chili as well, so this worked out great, and I didn't have to worry about opening my refrigerator. I didn't have to worry about opening my freezer. I had food on my shelf to sustain us until the power came on, and I told my husband that was amazing, and we both agreed we're going to keep doing that. So our list of meats would be beef chunks, venison for those who like the deer hunt. Venison can be used in chunks or ground, and it does can very well, just like you would ground beef. With the hamburger, also you can make chili. I will be doing sessions when I'm able to get another 10-pound thing of hamburger. I am going to be doing a chili session for everybody that is also great for a diabetic. We are looking at canned chicken chunks or turkey as well. I don't think I'm going to be doing tuna fish this year, although we could. The price of tuna is really high, so I think I'm going to resort down to just getting the cans. Now, normally I do not do this. Normally I tried my best to stay away from processed foods. But when it comes to simple things like canned tuna, canned salmon, canned peas, green beans, corn, this year I'm probably going to stock up on cans as well, and here is why. With our kids coming home, we missed the boat, I call it, on a few things that could have helped us get stocked this year. One was the deal for corn. We missed the deal. Finances got hard helping, and we missed a lot of opportunities, so we're down to our last resort, doing canned goods. I did get about 3 bushels of tomatoes. I have some marinated marinaras in the freezer, some canned jars of tomato sauce, but again, not enough for a whole winter. So matter of fact, I'm going to take you back into the pantry, and I'm going to show you where I'm at, why I started panicking, and telling you why I am doing what I'm doing now and where the alternatives are coming in. I would rather give you a full visual than to try to explain to you, and I'm going to show you some of the ideas and the alternatives, the best alternatives to use should you be in our position as well. And then we are going to get back to this list. So let me take you to the pantry. Okay, my family, so this is the hamburger that we are stocked up on. However, this is still not enough for the winter. Up here we have our ground, or not ground, but this one here is chunks of venison. This is ground venison, and we have 1 can of chili over here. We've got a lot to do. We ran out of chicken, and sadly I ended up using some of these stocks, and this is why I'm panicking, because this is normally absolutely full by now, and this is where we're at. There is a lot of empty space, and I've got so much work to do, and I'm praying at this point, because with the price of groceries going up, it's made it extremely hard. Now here from our garden is our mixed greens. I am currently planting seeds for mixed greens again, since this summer is almost over. Fall is coming. I still have an opportunity to can those and use them. I have my beef broth. I have plenty of broth between here, this shelf, this stock here, which those 2 are just pumpkin, and then all of these are all beef and turkey and chicken. I do not need any more broth. I am stocked up on it. Over here I have my mixed turkey, or chicken actually. This is chicken and vegetables to make soups or stews with. Cannelli beans. These I do not have dried. This is what I use for my Mediterranean dishes, so I am stocking on canned goods. Now these are the ones that are simple ingredients. I wouldn't say so much processed, as they just have prepared cannelli beans, water, salt, calcium chloride, which was help with the firming and keep from like texture you use in pickles. So that's basically, they've got water tension coloring and stuff, but nothing that is dangerous I would consider to be bad as far as process. So I would definitely do this and chickpeas if I wanted to. Me personally though, I liked it from the dried and canned my own because it's cheaper. And I'm going to take the routes at this point to be able to extend my pantry. And this is why I'm going to educate you. If you can do dried beans and like the simple pleasure of opening a can, well, honestly, this is great. Because yes, it takes work. One time, and I'll explain that to you once we get back into our seating area. But we have black beans here. This is our green beans, and I do have another run of green beans that I have planted. We're going to see if we get any more out of this. So far we have 1 dozen and 3 pints of green beans, but not enough for a winter. We have our black-eyed peas and navy beans and ham. Again, this will, for us, as far as beans and hubby, now him being diabetic, he has to really be careful with these. So this could last us all winter. He does want some pinto beans, so I'll be doing a couple jars of those too. But I'm not going to go crazy on the beans for him. I have some miscellaneous things like pickles. We don't normally eat pickles, so there's just a couple jars that were given to us. I have 1 jar of carrots left and about 3 pints of corn, so I need those, and I will tell you how I'm going to do those. Let me get these boxes out of the way here. This pitiful shelf. Now this is right here is cranberry juice. I will definitely be doing more cranberry juice when cranberries come in season, come about October and November. I will definitely be doing this one again. I love the flavor. It was great for tea and juice for the winter. That's an absolute have to. Our tomato stocks. Pitiful. This is all we have. And y'all, by now, I have tomatoes plumb out to here that would last me all winter. And I'm only half of this. So I am going to be replacing, and I will show you how I'm doing that. I've got our tomato sauces from our garden this year right here. I have some from last year. We did not get paste. We did not get ketchup. So I am having to do those alternatively. And that is the extent of this poor, pitiful shelf. I am way, way behind. So, all right, let's go to the next step. So this is my other cabinet I have here, and I am using these. These whole, no salt added tomatoes is what we're going to use to make paste and marinaras out of, and I will show you how to do that. I'm also going to tell you all how I am doing this and how it's not going to break the store, break your pocketbook, even to stock like this. So I am working on my stocks. Yes, we eat sardines. They make a good lunch power pack. So let me go to the next one. Okay, so this was the reason I ended up doing more chickpeas. That's all I had. So we got 8 more jars. I have some more. Right here is my Dijon mustard. I absolutely have to do more of this. I have a couple diced tomatoes, 1 thing of tomato sauce, and miscellaneous. And then up here I have some of my dry goods, from lentils to wild rice, red lentils, my sesame seeds, basmati rice, which I like that because it's lower in the carbohydrates than most, my angel hair pasta, and my chickpeas. So we're going to go back to our station and talk. Alright, my family, so the idea of what I've done, the whole tomatoes like I showed you, that could turn into marinara or spaghetti sauce in a very amazing way, and very simple as well. You could take that whole tomatoes, put them in a food processor, puree them up. You can use an emulsion blender. You could just crush them with your hands and use them whole. The only ingredients you could add to get that beautiful flavor would be fresh garlic or garlic powder, some onions, some basil, and some pepper. And honestly, it does not take very much. And then drizzle with some olive oil and you have a beautiful sauce you can use. You could render it down in a saucepan to get all the liquids, make yourself a little bit of a thicker sauce and put it on there for pizza. So many ways of using whole tomatoes. Same with diced tomatoes. So if you can't get anything else, stock up your pantry with that. These are the canned goods I'm going to resort down to because it's going to come out as I've done research. I went to my farmers markets. I am out of tomatoes because my tomatoes at this point with the heat index of 116 or 100 here lately, my tomatoes have just stopped. A lot of them rotted off the vine and it cooked them. So I'm having to go down to cans, and I'm being very choosy with very simple ingredients to put on my shelf. So peas, beans, tomatoes such as diced or whole, these will work. You can, if you want to, and I may resort to that also, is some sauce. I will definitely get some paste, and I will definitely be getting sugar-free ketchup. So am I happy for doing this? No. But is it saying that I'm not a homesteader? Well, no. I absolutely am. I still prepare for my family. I still prepare for the winter because this is detrimental for me and my family when my husband's job is seasonal at that point. Winter is our hardest and we do our challenges because that's when it's harder for us to go grocery shopping. So we stock and prepare ourselves for that. Not for any other reason but for my husband's job. So some of the things on our list, besides the peas, the corn, the green beans, oatmeal. Oatmeal is one that you can put on your shelf. It is good for Mediterranean diabetics, depending on who can handle it or not. My husband handles very little of it, but he likes it once in a while for breakfast in the morning before work. So oatmeal is fairly cheap and it goes a long way. Mediterranean style, it's great for fiber sources as well and a good whole grain food. So we need substitute sugar. That's an absolute to stock our pantry with. Now for me, when I make whole grain breads or whatever, I need bread flour unbleached because I'm also using that for my sourdough, my yeast. Sourdough is the most amazing bread I could have and easy to digest. So that's an absolute, and along with whole wheat bread or whole wheat flour. So these need to go on my pantry. Sugar for the honeybees so we could sustain them for the winter time. Definitely doing dehydrated potatoes. Now, how I'm doing that, let me explain that to you. Now, I am using red potatoes. You could use red and you can use russet. I'm using red potatoes because basically they make, if you wanted to make an au gratin, I tried this last year and they worked out very, very well. They don't seem to be as starchy as a russet, but you can absolutely use a russet as well. Any potato, basically, you can do this with. You're going to take your potato first off, and you're going to peel it and clean it real good. I use a mandolin with a thin cut, which is about half-inch, quarter-inch slices. I will put those slices in some cold water, let them sit for about 10 to 30 minutes, releasing all the starch. At this point, I will take a stock pot or a big pot filled with water, bring it to a boil. I then want to take my potato slices and I will blanch them in boiling water for 5 minutes. From there, immediately putting them into cold water to cool them off. Once they are cooled off, I will strain them, and then I will dampen them off with a towel, put them on my dehydrating rack, put them on my dehydrator. Now the book that I use is the Dehydrator Bible. That one says to dehydrate them at 130 degrees. I went with 135. It takes 8 to 10 hours to dehydrate potatoes, but mine seem to have dehydrated between 4 to 8 hours. So, and it could be because they were at 135. But then again, it could have been due to the process that I did as well. So, it is super, super simple to do this. Now, if you do not want to do slices, you can absolutely make your own, which is a fantastic, and I may decide to do that as well. Make my own hash browns. Same process, just this time instead of slicing, you are shredding them. This is an easy way to, again, if you lose power or say the prices go up, get it while you can. Now I'm going to tell you, do what you have to do and get it on your shelf, because dehydration is an amazing thing to use, and you can make many different meals out of this. So I may go ahead and try the hash browns as well. But right now I am doing my potatoes the way they are at slicing, and at this point I could choose to make au gratin potatoes. I could add them to soups and stews. Dehydrating isn't, how do I explain it? It takes a little bit to absorb, and it's not super perfect, so you couldn't make a mashed potato out of it. I done tried it, but it can be used in many meals, such as soups and stews, or such as au gratins or scallop potatoes. This is perfect, and if you wanted to constitute it, let it sit in hot water for an hour or so until they're tender again, and you can fry them up and make fried potatoes out of them. So there are many benefits to having dehydrated potatoes. I told you all, I freeze, and I dehydrate, and this is what helps us. Potatoes are classified in the Mediterranean class, so this will work for me. I can make them into chunks, I can slice them, or I can shred them. And another thing you can do is, if you can find a deal on mixed vegetables frozen, absolutely you can dehydrate those as well. So and then just put them on your shelf again, soup, stews, whatever you could use them for. These will help. This is what I'm looking at, y'all. This is what's going to sustain me, and I have a lot of work to do, and we are going to do a lot of work. I definitely have got to get meat and chili on my pantry, and the meat is to be able to make other dishes as well. I'm also going to be stocking that freezer plumb full again, because I am going to make it this winter. Some other things that you could do as far as category for Mediterranean. Now with diabetes, this is going to be hard, but I am going to be giving you a list for that as well. So for now, pasta sources, you can choose to do homemade. That is absolutely great when you can't get pasta. You can freeze homemade pasta, but I will tell you, when you make it, separate it, freeze it, then put it in a freezer bag so it does not stick together. I've made that mistake. If you could find a deal on dry pasta, by all means, stock up. One of the few things under Mediterranean that is used a lot is orzo, which I am going to be using tonight in a chicken soup. So orzo is one. Quinoa is another. Wild rice or basmati rice. These are considered whole grains that is used in Mediterranean lifestyle. They definitely use chickpeas the most, cannelli beans. Occasionally they will use black beans or so, but these are just the most ones used. and these are the ones that I'm actually stocking up. When it comes to low carb, definitely one other one I'm going to be stocking up is Carb Quick, because I can make different biscuits and stuff like that for my husband. I can even make him cinnamon rolls out of them. Other things which I will have to order online, which I have been making with you all, is his pita bread and such. So with that, I need xanthan gum, almond flour, oat fiber, and vital wheat gluten. These are another one that has to go on my shelf for the homemade bread sources that he needs. Another one for us for the basic breading mix is keeping a stock of Parmesan cheese, pork rinds, and almond flour. We have made that in previous videos on the basic breading, so that if we want to bread fish or make his shake and bake pork chops, things that he can have like this that are low carb, safe for a diabetic, these are an absolute necessity to put on our shelf. And I'm really hoping that what I'm mentioning right now is going to help many of the others who are in our position, who likes to do homemade like us homesteaders do. You're unfamiliar at what you need to stock. Well, we're going through the list because time is growing short and I need to get this list done. I have promised you all that I was going to do this, and now's the time. I can't waste anymore. A few things, drink sources. Definitely, if you can find deals on coffee, get your coffee. Tea. Many different types of tea. I am a tea drinker. Matter of fact, I have right now, I just harvested and I'm going to be drying some spearmint, some more of my anise hyssop. I have sun tea going on at the moment with some peach, perfect peach tea, and some spearmint. So it's mint and peach tea I'm fixing to make. Oh my goodness, y'all, it smelled so good. So I am definitely keeping up with some tea, and we're doing some other drinks like this. So these are some of the things. Water, if you go ahead and stock up on your water. Now I will tell you, you can do that, and here's what I've learned. Now I can use my city faucet water, but if I were to make sourdough, here's what I would end up doing. I can't always run and buy filtered water. I do not have a filtration system, but what I can do is fill up a gallon jug from an old gallon of milk, cleaned out really good, fill it up with water, seal it, set it aside untouched for 24 hours. Any chlorine or anything within that water will evaporate at this point. So it would be safe to use in all of my sourdough starters or my bread mixes. So it's as simple as saving milk cartons, and I can fill it up with city water, set it aside, and let that chlorine dissipate on its own. So that is really no big deal. I have quite a bit of anise hyssop this year. I have some rose petals for rose tea or rose water this year. I have plenty of mullein for the cold and flu season. We did get very little elderberries, not a whole lot of anything this year, so I'm hoping that I can sustain us this way, and if not, I will get vitamins again along with some zinc. Those are a few other things I like to stock in my medicinal areas. So if I can think of anything else to do, I will absolutely inform you all. And while I'm thinking, I'm going to be going to the canner because I need to open this up right now. The pressure dropped a little while ago, so let me get that done so I can get these peas or these chickpeas out, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, my friends, so I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Dry goods, yes, actually there is. Now, you can, milk sources. Milk, now Aldi's, I did do this. We went to Aldi's and we found a gallon of milk, home milk, for $2.92 a gallon. Y'all, we definitely did that. 1 gallon I bought for hubby. The other gallon I bought so I can make myself some feta cheese again. The feta will last me a good long time. So I am definitely going to make that. I think the last batch lasted me a couple months. So I'm fixing to make some more feta cheese. I did stock up again on some more rennet and some chloride, so that calcium chloride, so I can make some more cheese of sources, including mozzarella if it came down to that. With these prices, I may resort down to getting a gallon of milk, which is going to be cheaper than buying the cheese itself. So, and then this way I can have my pizza or whatever I want. Homemade, y'all. I'm telling you, homemade is what's going to help you. But these sources you want to keep in your pantry to be able to do that. A few other things that I would think of would be dried milk for emergency purposes, and even evaporated milk. You can absolutely do that. So I would do this as well. Again, I taught you how to make your own butter, so that would be a way of using and making your own homemade butter. I am looking again. Sam's Club had 4 pounds of butter, I think, for $12 or $13. I probably will do that again and be able to stock with ghee. I want my refrigerator stocked again for this winter with my ghee, because that has proven to be very good for me and my husband. I have gained a few of my pounds back, but I do not want to keep doing that. So I am going to go back to my Mediterranean. I am going back to what works for me and what has sustained me besides this point. So I'm comfortable where I'm at, but I don't want to get too comfortable. I do want to lose some more. So I am going backtracking here and fixing myself up. So at this point, until I can think of something else, I'm really seriously hoping this helped any of you. Now, I'm drinking right now some honey that we harvested from the bees from, unfortunately, a hive we lost. So I do have some fresh honey, and I have some lemon tea, and that's what I'm drinking right now. It's better than soda. I am cutting back on all of this stuff. The sugar that I'm using is raw honey instead of any other type of sugar. So again, if I come up with any more ideas, you can guarantee I've got some good time canning coming up, and y'all, we are going to do some good stuff. I am probably going to be doing some beef stew meals with you. I am going to be doing definitely some chili meals, almost a copycat of Wendy's, that will match the fall canning book. It is not a Rebel style, but this is an amazing chili, and it's worked for us all the time. So we do have some really good stuff coming up. It's going to take time for me to get the products, and once I do, we're hitting that kitchen, y'all, and I'm taking you with me. I'm not leaving anybody behind, and I know a lot of you struggle. What can I do? Well, we're getting busy, we're going to work, and this is what we're doing. So right now, if you can get a hold of them, get your potatoes. And I also need you to think about your bean sources. So until then, much love from Parton's Heritage Homestead, and we will see you again soon.